Great to be here at Wrigley Field with Tony and Don Schumacher, Tony's dad. And it's a family affair today, right? Grandpa, dad, and grandchildren are here, which is fabulous. And I want to thank you, Tony, for the outspokenness that you've had about responsible fathering with the Illinois Fatherhood Initiative, and then more recently with the Team Dad effort. And what I'd like to do is just have sort of a father-son conversation about this. Don, you know, you've done some remarkable things in your life from a career standpoint, but I think with all the accomplishments you have, you know, more important to me when I look at Don Schumacher is, you know, what you've done from a personal standpoint to be there on Tony's behalf and to set a good example for other men to reflect on this important role that kids share with their dads. So, you know, if you could just from your heart share with us what this experience is as a dad and as a grandpa means to you, that would be great.
I think I've been lucky. Lucky to have a son like Tony who's created a family with grandchildren, grandsons, and a granddaughter that I'm able to interact with. But it didn't happen, and it doesn't happen through knowledge and experience. It's as far as my position. Tony's had some further experiences that has allowed him to look at the training side of it. I just happened to work my way along and be lucky that I ended up with a child like Tony and 3 daughters. Daughter by the name of Tara, daughter by the name of Samantha, and my most recent daughter who I adopted a few years ago, Megan. I've been blessed to be able to have wonderful children that I've been able to interact with, and somehow we've got a wonderful, wonderful family, but it really comes out of interaction and being there for them and being there with them, to pat them on the back, to kind of kick them in the shins when you have to, but hopefully it was more the pat on the back and letting them grow up, experience, and work their way through many of the tough times that they had, the tough decisions that they had to make. Curfew, I never set a curfew. They'd ask, what's my curfew, Dad? It's a reasonable hour. Well, what does that mean? Depends on what you're doing. So, I mean, it was really up to the child to mature and grow and become a responsible young person. And I've been very blessed that I've got that out of all 4 of my children, and I've got that out of 4 grandchildren so far. We'll see where it all goes.
Yeah, well, one of the things with Team Dad that we're trying to emphasize is the full-time commitment that it takes to be a great dad. And when you put that number, some people recognize, some people don't recognize, which is this 247-365. And people think we've numbered the coins, but in fact it's the same number on all the coins. And the 247-365 simply stands for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you just have to show up, right? You have to be there. So it sounds like you've had a really good role model growing up, Tony.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that is the most important thing is to be there. You know, and both of us through our early careers, mine still going, traveled. But physically being there, you know, there's a lot more to it. Yeah, I'm there many days, but my job takes me on the road, but also when I'm home, I'm 110%, and when I'm away, I'm on the phone all the time. And luckily for us, what he didn't have, we have a face pad, and I can get on the phone and have my kids read me a book. You know, so you got to use those advancements. You got to use the things that are there. And you know, he went as far when I was 5 years old as retiring from racing, be home with the kids. So it's a difficult thing for me to do, but I'll eventually have to do the same thing. I've always said that when the kids start playing baseball, you know, I'm going to stay home and watch them play ball. Well, guess what? We're at the Cubs Stadium here. We're at Wrigley Field. They're starting to enjoy it, and I'm getting nervous. You know? but it's what I promised, and I'll eventually have to make that decision.
Yeah, well, if you had to offer a word of encouragement to other dads, Don, right, to not challenge them, but to inspire them, what comes to mind?
Take the mother's role. Become the mother. Be there for the kids that much. Be fortunate to experience the phenomenal times, hours, and experiences that the mothers have with their children, because they're always there with them.
Right, driving their kids to and from, going to school, being involved with their activities in and out of school.
Try to be there to get them to school. try to be there when they come home from school. Yes, it's going to interfere with your work, but the rewards are remarkable.
Yeah. How about you, Tony?
I think that's a great advice. When I'm not at the races, I'm up in the morning, watering the lawns, waiting for the kids to wake up, and when they do, I watch them get on the bus, and I'm standing there with a football when they get off the bus. And it's just, I can answer their questions 100% of the time when I'm there. And when I'm not, the fact is they can call me. They know that we all have phones, we can all get a hold of each other, but them knowing that they're going to be getting off the bus and I will be standing there waiting is 100% critical to them.
Well, I want to thank both of you. Thank you, John, for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a great role model. Tony, thank you. Best of luck in the upcoming races, and looking forward to watching these kids grow up.
You too.
Great.